Hello everyone, Rob here from Rob and the Chaps, and today I was just going to discuss with you ideas and such about filming and the new, you may have seen my video on the Batman-Superman team-up film that they're making, which is going to be done by Zack Snyder, who I forgot to mention in that video. Got all my notes written down on the phone, so I'm ready to go. It's just been confirmed a few days ago that Ben Affleck is going to be playing Batman. I don't know enough about him to make any prerequisite judgment about him. Hopefully he'll be a good Batman, but probably not. No offence to him. Okay, what I wanted to propose to you today was the thought of a Flashpoint Paradox movie from the Elseworlds story. It's not an Elseworlds story, they alter the timelines. And for those of you that haven't seen it, there is an animated film of the Flashpoint Paradox, and that film is very good. They really execute the characters very well in it, the plot's very good, it doesn't go from the comics much, which is nice. And so what I'm doing here is how I would make, because I'm a wannabe director, going to college next year to make films, how I personally would make and direct the Flashpoint Paradox as a live action film. Play intro. I don't play intro? Do we have an intro here? I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I've got all my notes written down here, and what I'm going to do is start off with casting who I would want to play which role. Okay, actually before I do that, I'll give you a rundown of what the basic plot is. Spoilers! Basic plot is Barry Allen is the Flash, and he can travel in time. And he gets insulted really badly by the Rogues and Professor Zoom, and taunted by them, he goes back in time and changes it to in order to save his mother. But in doing so, a ripple effect sort of goes out and changes all the little bits. Like, instead of Bruce Wayne being the one who survives in the alley, Bruce Wayne dies in the alley, and his father becomes Thomas Wayne, and his mother becomes the Joker. And other little stuff like that. Superman crashes in Metropolis and is taken into a government agency and kept incredibly weak, and he's just like a destroyed man. Okay, so the Flash goes back there, he has no memory, he doesn't know that he's the cause of all of this. And the biggest thing going on is Aquaman and Wonder Woman, the Atlanteans and... Don't ask. The Atlanteans and the Themysciran Amazons are at war with each other. Great Britain, has been taken over by Amazons and has been named New Themyscira. All of Europe has been underwater. Aquaman has drowned everyone there. And, of course, America is the only freestanding nation left. Okay, anyway, so casting. Of course, you've got the entire Justice League. Okay, I think my side of my head may just be out of camera at the moment. Give me a minute. My green screen has just fallen down. Oh, green screen, fallen down. Okay, I'm going to need some tape. I'll be back in about 5 seconds. Tape. Do I have tape? Where is tape? Tape. Right, I have tape. Oh, come back to me. No! I'll make it so that in the end video you can I'll tell you where to skip to. Because my editing at the moment, I'm so tired, I cannot be bothered to edit any of this out. So, I will tell you where to skip to for when I have this up. Right. Right, that'll do. I've literally just tied it around the top. That won't last, I'll have to replace that. Okay. Where the hell was I? Again, I haven't planned any of this, I've just made notes and sat down and talked. Okay, the Justice League is in the entire film, and Flash's enemies, the Rogues, Captain Boomerang, Captain Cold, a lot of captains, they're all in it. And of course, the main antagonist is Professor Zoom, Earboard Fong. Earboard Fong? God. Anyway, so who I would choose to do the actors, I've got a list of about 15 people here who are the main, in my version of this, based off the animated. The animated film is based off the comics, and I'm basing my live action off the animated film. And so some characters who aren't as forward pressed in the animated film, I want to see more in my own version. So I would have Chris Pine playing the Flash, Barry Allen. He is Kirk from the new reboot of Star Trek, and he's a good actor. He's not too bad, but I think he'd suit the Flash both in looks and acting talent, because you can't do it just on how they look. And I'm just checking my green screeners. Yeah, we're good. Nothing ever goes to plan, does it? Right. Oh, get on my neck. I've also... Something is causing my house to be incredibly dusty. I don't know what it is, but... It's living awful. Right. Okay, so we'll have Chris Pine as the Flash, because he would make a very good Flash, I feel. As Professor Zoom, the bad guy in this film, the reverse Flash, I would have Leonardo DiCaprio. Get that man an Oscar. You know, he can do an evil baddie really well, really vicious. And I want my version of Professor Zoom to not just hate the Flash, I want him to be evil. I want him to be a proper Lex Luthor sort of nasty, Jokerish like character. This is my dream cast. Not all of these people would be. You know, if you have a different opinion to mine, by all means leave it in the comments down here somewhere. I would love to hear who you'd like to see as which character. As Batman in this film, I would like to see Tommy Lee Jones. Now, before you start screaming bloody murder, Batman in this film is Thomas Wayne. He's a lot older than Bruce Wayne in the film, and he's a lot more violent. The Flashpoint Batman uses guns, he kills quite happily, and is a nasty piece of work. He's on the side of the angels, but he's not a good guy. And so I think Tommy Lee Jones would make he looks the part, and he is a really strong actor, and I would like to see him play a bad guy. He could play a really rough-edged Batman. You know, this is not Bruce Wayne, this is Thomas Wayne. As Wonder Woman, I would like to see Katie McGrath. Because in Merlin, the series which I know her from, she played Morgana. And she makes a good villain. Like, she's quite sinister when she wants to be. And that's what we want with Wonder Woman in this film. Wonder Woman is nasty in this film. Aquaman's wife attempted to kill her, and that's what spurred the war. But she still loves Aquaman. And Wonder Woman in this film needs to be, you know, the Amazon sort of fighting warrior, but she's also got to have that sinister, slightly nasty edge to her. And I reckon Katie McGrath could do that. Of course, there's only one man, truly, who could play a powerful, you know, Aquaman, and that is Sean Bean. Get that man as Aquaman. He gets a good death scene in this, which is important in the Sean Bean film. And Aquaman in the Flashpoint, again, everyone is tougher and hardier in the Flashpoint Paradox. And Sean Bean would make a very good Aquaman from his militaristic sort of films he does, as well as he can do romance, as we see in Sharp and other stuff he's been in. Now, this next choice is slightly... I'm going to have a lot of people going, "You're mad." But hear me out on this choice. I would, as Superman, not Superman at the beginning of the film, our Superman, not him, in the alternate reality Superman, where he's been cut off from yellow sun energy and is a weak and dishevelled and broken Superman, have that as Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor. Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone just left the video to go click on something else. But come back! But I think that I've seen the series of Doctor Who Matt Smith is in, and he plays the wacky nerd really well, but Superman isn't a wacky nerd. That's where I'm taking a risk. I would be taking a risk on taking on Matt Smith, but I reckon he would not look, because you don't want to take on an actor just on what they look like. Christian Stewart. I reckon he could do the emotional sort of broken Superman quite well, but again, who would you have? I would like to tell me who you would have. I was tempted to say David Tennant as Superman or Batman, but I think I've got him down here somewhere. Yeah, I've got him later on. Now Lex Luthor is my next character. Lex Luthor plays a minor role in this, as in the animated. I had two choices for Lex Luthor when I was searching who to pick, and I came down to a choice between Bruce Willis and Patrick Stewart. I think his name is Patrick Stewart, the guy who plays Professor Xavier in the... One moment, I'll check the box. Da-da-da. Doesn't say... Yeah, it is Patrick Stewart. I knew it. I'm a genius. Oh, Luminate, dropping everything. This has got to be the worst sort of discussion video I think I've done. I've had breakages and ugh. But as I say, I make these videos off the top of my head, so you get an honest opinion or an honest idea. That way, there's no pre-ideas or anything like that. This is just me saying what I would like to do. So, choose voting contest in the comments. Tell me, Bruce Willis or Patrick Stewart as Lex Luthor, one of these two. But Lex Luthor is a hardier Lex Luthor in the Flashpoint Paradox. He does have a fight scene where he uses a gun alongside Deathstroke. And Deathstroke is almost a pirate in this thing. He's sailing on the seas, governed by Aquaman, and eventually Aquaman corners him and gets him. But as Deathstroke, I would like to see Liam Neeson, or Qui-Gon Jinn, or the guy from Taken. Because Deathstroke is an older man, he's about 40, 50. Sorry, I think I had some of the cheese toasties I had earlier come back for a second. Oh man, cheese toasties. Only James Hillman will understand that joke. Anyway, and Liam Neeson would make a very good Deathstroke, because he can do the action as well as the serious sort of... You know, Deathstroke is not a nice guy, and Liam Neeson... I have a certain set of skills, he can do that. In this Flashpoint Paradox, I want Aqualad, the sort of protege to Aquaman, to have a bit more of a spotlight. I'll do plot changes in a little bit. And I wanted Michael B. Jordan to play Aqualad, because there are not many teenage African... I don't want to say African American, because you might be British, but teenage black people. I was trying not to be, I'm sure there'll be some people in the comments going, oh, you said teenage black people, you're racist. I'm not, honestly. Anyway, I would like, and there's not many, I was searching and there was about 3 or so people to look at, and he was the only one that sort of caught your eye and did have a good acting background. Though I can't name what he's been in now, which is really annoying me. As Robin, or Grifter, because in the Flashpoint Paradox, Batman never had a sidekick. And in the Resistance in New Themyscira, we have Grifter, who at the very end is sort of, it's sort of hinted that he's Robin. And I would get that more obvious to the audience. But playing him, I would have Colin Ford, who I think would make a very strong Robin. Amy Adams as Lois Lane, same Lois Lane as in The Man of Steel, but she plays a good Lois Lane. It works really well. Lois Lane is part of the Resistance in the UK as well. She's also a reporter working for Cyborg. Oh, I missed out Cyborg. Silly me, I missed out Cyborg. Yeah, as Cyborg, who's a government lieutenant at this point, he's literally, his head is human, the rest of him is fully robotic now. There's no sort of halfway. I would have Samuel L. Jackson, because he would make a really cool Cyborg. You know, the badassery of Samuel L. Jackson and Cyborg combined. Pretty good. Emma Watson as Iris, the Barry Allen's girlfriend. She plays a little bit in the film. You see her there and there again, but she looks like Iris and it would work quite well. Now, the next two are Doctor Who's. We've already had Matt Smith, who is a previous Doctor, and as Mirror Master, one of the Flash's enemies, the Rogue, I would like David Tennant. He would make quite a good Mirror Master, I reckon. And as Captain Cold, or Citizen Cold in the alternate reality, I would have Christopher Eccleston. Tell me your opinions, tell me your judgments. I would love to hear what you have to say. And now I'm going to go on to plot changes. We're keeping to the animated film, same storyline, and which in turn stays true to the comics, which I've read and I have around here somewhere, but I'm not going to dash off and get it because I've done that 3 times now. Okay, so minor plot changes, little things that after watching the film a few times I thought, how can I do that better? Well, or maybe not better. Again, it might, in your opinion, these changes might be absolute baloney. But the first point I thought was the Resistance in New Themyscira, or Great Britain, is made up of nobodies, really. You see them and it's just like, okay, you have Lois Lane, who comes on halfway through the movie, Etrigan and Robin, or Grifter, Robin/Grifter. Those 3 I'm keeping. Keep those guys as part of the Resistance. Grifter, Etrigan, who's a really cool character, a bit unappreciated in the DC universe. But the rest of them are just sort of there, you know, they're just meh. So instead of those guys, I would have the Rogues becoming heroes and a part of the Resistance in Great Britain. Citizen Cold, Captain Boomerang, Heatwave and Mirror Master are the Resistance, plus Etrigan, Grifter and Lois Lane, who team up with Batman, the Flash, and their group, Captain Thunder, or Shazam as he's now known. You know, that would be quite a nice little... The Resistance in Themyscira is made up of the Rogues. Instead of Aquaman's lieutenant, who nobody knows, shooting Thomas Wayne Batman and, you know, eventually killing him, make it someone who we actually recognise and want to give a bit of spotlight to. Like the lieutenant, who I'm going to have a picture here of, I don't know who he is, and I know the comics almost inside out. He's just a guy who gets bitch slapped by Aquaman a lot. So instead of him getting a kill, let's give it to Aqualad. Aqualad has a fight with Batman, or takes him by surprise, and he's the one who stabs Batman through the stomach, and then the Flash gets him out of there. That way we give Aqualad a bit more, because the only cool bit of Aqualad we see in the film is when he boards Deathstroke's ship and starts fighting Deathstroke. But that's only a 10-second clip when he's fighting, you know, we don't see much of it. So I'd like to push him to the fore a bit more. Grifter is Robin. You know, we know this from just the tiny bit where Batman and Grifter are shooting from behind a car at Black Manta, and Grifter goes, "Hey Batman, I like your style, we should have teamed up back when there was a world to save." Batman says, "Oh, Batman and Grifter, the boy idiot," or something, and that's sort of a hint that that is Dick Grayson. And so I would like to change Grifter, his name to Grayson, or something like that, just to tell you this is Robin, you know, in this reality. Call him Grayson, or Flying Grayson. His alias in this reality is the Flying Grayson. I would like to see that. In this film, we also have Captain Atom, who I didn't bother putting onto actors list because he is a very minor character in this film. Plus, he's completely silver, so it's probably best just to animate him in. But in the film, he is caught by Aquaman, and Aquaman at the very end presses a button and explodes Captain Atom. All of the living energy that makes up Captain Atom explodes, and basically the entire world just dies. Like, the light just envelops everything and kills them. And while I'm keeping all that the same, because that is a really powerful moment when Aquaman has died and Wonder Woman is holding him, and you've got this blue light, which is what remains of Captain Atom, coming towards them, and it's just vaporizing everything in its path. Thomas Wayne is telling Flash to run and to change it all. It's a really powerful moment. So we're keeping Captain Atom's exploded death, but I would like to see his capture, or maybe not see his capture as in an actual scene, because that would sort of just give it all away. Maybe when Batman says that's what Captain Atom thought, he went over there alone, and we haven't heard from him since, have a hint to a flashback or something like that, just to hint at his fate. Keep the audience sort of interested. I need to sneeze again. This is ridiculous. The house is so dusty. There. No, I pressed the button. Don't worry, we're good. I pressed the button and it did something. Okay, I'm back. Don't worry. This is a ridiculous video. I won't cut any of it though, because it's proof of how much of a dimwit I am. But, Black Manta, he is the father of Aqualad, and again, he's a good villain. I think he's a villain in the Young Justice series. He's a villain, and Aqualad is his enemy. He's an enemy of the Young Justice team. But I'd like to give Black Manta more of like Aqualad, more spotlight. And in the film Flashpoint Paradox Animated, he and Aqualad board the ship and take on Deathstroke and Lex Luthor, and keep that, but show it even more, because showing Aqualad and Lex Luthor working together, or Aqualad and Black Manta working together, shows how much has changed. Because even though he works with him in Young Justice, it's all a ruse, it's fake, they're not actually. To show them actually, like, being friends is quite powerful. And instead of the Archivist at the very end trying to free Captain Atom before Aquaman explodes him, make it Black Manta who's trying to free Captain Atom. Give him a bit of a twist at the end, make him more heroic. Because the one thing with Black Manta's character is he is noble. At his heart, he is a good man. Like in the Young Justice series, at one of the last episodes, Aqualad fights Black Manta and he says, I actually regret betraying you because I have seen your noble side, even though he's a villain. And so I would like Black Manta to sort of realise this is wrong and tries to free Captain Atom. But because of that, Black Manta in the film is, in the Paradox animated film, Black Manta is killed by Batman and Grifter together before that line of "boy idiot." And so because of that, I don't want him killed. I want him killed in the explosion when he tries to free the Atom. Make it, instead of Black Manta being killed between Robin and Batman teaming up, make it the Minotaur that Wonder Woman summons. Because why not have a Minotaur? They're Greek mythology and we like Minotaur. One thing I know a lot of people wanted after the film came out, and I've seen a lot of comments on YouTube on a few scenes, is in this film Martha Wayne is the Joker. Batman's mother, or Bruce Wayne's mother, is the Joker. I would like we only get a hint of it in the alleyway. Bruce Wayne's dad is beating up Joe Chill, who's just shot Bruce, and she's crying and holding her mouth to her face. And when he turns around, she's got his blood on his hands, and it makes a big smile on her face, and it's sort of her mad laughter. So I really like to see more of that, or at least more hints to it, or what's going on. Keep that alleyway scene, that is a really cool scene. And lastly, the last little point on my list is Professor Zoom. In the animated film, he is really good. He is a good character. He's a nasty character. But what I would the one thing I would have changed about him is make him more vicious. Because in the film, he's sort of a cool, calculating man with a vendetta against the Flash. He's willing to give up his life and destroy the entire world just to break the Flash's ego. That speaks insane madman to me. So I would like to see him as more of a Joker-like character, where you could tell just from looking at him or listening to him, he is pure evil at his core. And that's why I wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to play him, because we would, Django Unchained, you sort of get that uneasy feeling around the character he plays. And I would like to recapture that feeling with Professor Zoom. That's all my notes on how I would personally do the Flashpoint Paradox live-action film. We know that they're making Batman, Superman team-up versus film. Ben Affleck is now Batman, and the way that film's going, it looks like they're going to cock it up. I'm not saying they are going to cock it up, but Ben Affleck, really? Like, I would rather have David Tennant as Batman. You know, he could do it, but Ben Affleck, I don't feel he could make a good Batman. But that film aside, like, Man of Steel was really good, but if they call it Batman, Superman, you know, well, it's not a Man of Steel sequel then, is it? It's meant to be a Man of Steel sequel with Batman in it, not a Batman beating up Superman film. You know, why are they... That film is going... If they're going to fuck that film up, it's going... we know they're going to cock it up. So I would like them... They do that film, everyone's like, oh my god, Angry Joe shits himself. I would like them to do my version of Flashpoint Paradox, because I feel that we'd be able to recapture the sort of badass and the emotion that comes with a lot of DC's comics. And, you know, it questions a lot of things. So, that's me done. I might be doing another few videos like this. I intend... Go check out some of the other videos I've done. Thanks all for watching. If you're still watching, I apologise for the breakages, the uncertainty, the dust, the dropping of my phone, the lack of tape, everything that went wrong in this video. I sincerely apologise, and I hope the next one's a bit better. Thanks for watching. I'm out.